Hello, Fabulous Forever fans. Today I am going to do something I've said for a while that I was going to do, and that is a quick demonstration of how to make an AutoBook. So let's just get right into it. All right, so I have now, at this point, I've made several different AutoBooks, and I'm just going to show you an example before we dive into making one. This is an AutoBook that I have made in the past. It was a 10 by 10 that I made for Reagan, my stepdaughter, as a gift with images of her time in the color guard at UT from the first 2 years. All right, so you can see here the cover. You can put text on the spine. You can also add 3 lines of text to the cover. And then down below, basically what you're seeing is just the pages. And because I'm not really in the editing preview, you can't see which pages will be facing each other, but you could actually just click through the individual pages. All right, so that is how it appears in my print projects screen. And if I wanted to order another copy, I could do that. I just want to show you the difference between this AutoBook here and the one that's over here, which is one that I had just made kind of as a practice and a quick sample to show someone using my mom and dad's wedding portraits. I'm not going to click into that, but you can see I've never ordered a copy of that, and there's no share button over here. You cannot share your AutoBook with other people until after you've already ordered a copy of it. And that's just something, just FYI to know. Over here, you see the little share button. If you press that, it actually brings up the opportunity for you to copy that link, and then you can paste it into a text message, email, Facebook message, whatever it is that you want to share, even a Facebook post. All right, so let's talk about how to go about making an AutoBook. And I want to give you some helpful tips that I've learned over the first few times I've made one. All right, so I'm going to take you first to albums, because I put all of the pictures that I'm going to use for this AutoBook into one album. And that's the first thing I would recommend that you do, is go ahead and create an album for the pictures that you want to put in your project. Now keep in mind that you can put pictures in more than one album, and that does not take up additional space in your forever storage. So it's almost just like adding a tag to the picture. So it's the same picture, it's just being replicated. It shows up in more than one album. All right, so this is the project that I'm going to be using today. And so my brother-in-law, Frank Gordon, he turned 50, I think it was 3 years ago. And then my sister turned 50 in 2019. And I took a lot of pictures at those parties, and I've always planned to make an album for them of those pictures, but I just haven't really ever gotten around to it. I've been kind of busy with my doctorate and things like that. So now that I'm finished with some of those things and I have a little bit more free time, plus we have the great AutoBook quick and easy system, I'm going to use this to create their book. Now, I'm doing this with the full knowledge that my sister could potentially see this video. I'm going to post it in the Fabulous Forever Fans Facebook group, as well as include a link to it on my email that I'm putting out. If she sees that, it's fine. It's going to ruin the surprise just a little bit, but she doesn't have to tell her husband about it. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to be making a 10 by 10 book from these pictures. Now, before I do anything, I want to make sure that I have all the pictures that I want to use, and I want to make sure that they're in the right order, because AutoBook is going to pull the pictures in the order that they appear in your album, including the cover picture. So when I look at the pictures in this album, I have about approximately 50 pictures from each party, and I'm going to put them in the same book together. I actually made a cover photo, and I'll just bring that up bigger. I used Artisan to create this, and the cover of an AutoBook is going to be a square picture. And of course, you can designate which one you want. But I went ahead and kind of assembled this together using my Artisan software. I added a title, I added a little bit of clip art to it just to make it special. And I rendered it out as a JPEG. So since it's a picture, I can include it in the AutoBook. Now, It currently, though, is not in the first position, and whatever picture is showing up first is going to become your cover. You can always change it later, but it's just faster in the long run if you have all your pictures in the order that you want them to start with. All right, so I'm going to go over here and click this button called Edit Custom Order. That is going to allow me to drag the pictures into the order that I want. So currently, this is the first, that's going to be the cover, and then whatever picture is here is going to be on the first page. And I'm not super wild about that picture, so I think what I want to do is I'm going to go down to each of the parties, and I'm going to grab a picture of the Gordon family. That's from the first party, and then I have one of them from the second party. Here it is. And I'm just going to like drag and drop it in order. So what I can do is put those two pictures on the first page. I believe I should be able to do that. All right. And so when I look down through, I'm a big fan of chronological order. That's usually the way I roll. And I do not have any pictures of Francis showing up at this party. I can't remember if it was a surprise or not. I don't think it was. So I don't have any like surprise moment pictures, but I do have some of the moment. He did get a surprise when his sister from Texas showed up at the party, and very few people knew, including me. I didn't even know that she was coming. So anyway, the rest of this looks pretty much chronological. I'm just going to scroll down through and see. We did some photo ops in front of the 50 balloons, and I've got all of those pictures together, and then I have the pictures of the family after that. So that's kind of how I'm going to sequence this. And then the second half of these pictures begin right here, and this is when my sister was surprised. She had, we also had her party at my house, but she was, it was a surprise party. So again, I'm starting out kind of chronologically through most of this, and then we did a lot of those pictures again at the end with some balloons. But what I see is that I've got 3 of these happy birthday pictures with the balloons. Those groups of people kind of, I think they left early, so I had done them a little bit sooner, but I'm going to drop them down so that they are with these other pictures, because it's a lot easier to move them now than it is later. You can move them later, but it's just easier to do this all up front. Okay, and then I think I'm going to move this one of Susan and me. I'm going to move that out so it's not with all of the other balloon pictures. I'm not sure if I'll use this last one. That's the one from the cover, but we'll see. All right, so I think I pretty much have it done, and so I'm going to click I'm done reordering. Now I'm ready, and I'm going to just click this button up in the top right-hand corner, order photo prints or books. And today I don't want to print photos. I want to create an AutoBook. I want to select all of the pictures from this album. Of course, you don't have to do that. You could actually, you could select individual pictures, you know, and just go in and select the ones you want. But I know that it's all of them. So now it's going to bring up my options. I want to create a 10 by 10 book. I think it's a great size. It's not as big as the 12 by 12, but even if you put 4 pictures on a page, there's still a really nice size for each individual picture. And I also want it to be hardbound, not softbound. So I'm going to do a hardbound 10 by 10. And basically, AutoBook works its magic. All right, and so the book is done. Honestly, you know, you could order it now, but I am kind of a control freak. I like to micromanage a lot of things about my books. So I'm going to edit this up the way I want it to be. And it's grabbed the title from my album. It's showing me right here the size and the type of cover. And it's also showing me how many pages and the current cost. So AutoBook, the basic AutoBook comes with 21 pages, and that is front and back. So because I had so many pictures, it went over the 21 pages. I could probably get it down a little bit lower than 34 if I don't want that many pictures, because you are charged per page whenever additional pictures are added. So let's just go down through and see where we ended up. So you can see I've got places where I can add my text, but I like the way that this picture turned out. I created it as a square, and it's working really well in there. Oh, it just did exactly what I wanted it to. I wanted to have those two pictures on the front. I'm going to actually zoom in on this one a little bit. So when you want to make some edits to the picture, you simply click on it. You zoom in a little bit. Just kind of tightens it up some. All right. I'm liking that as my cover page. So then we go to Francis's party. And let me just, I'm just going to scroll down through here and see how things turned out. See, some of these pictures are really big for my taste. I don't necessarily want to feature them that large on the page. So I'm going to make some edits here. Like these 4 pictures, for example, I think it will look better if they're all of equal size. So I'm going to click on Change Design. And then I'm going to just, boom, make all of those a little bit more equal. And I'm looking over here at this one, for example. This is a horizontal photo, and it's being forced into a vertical window. And I definitely do not want that. I could go and maybe get a little bit, yeah, that's going to be a little bit better there. So, yeah, again, some of these pictures are not really working in the slots currently. So I'm going to be able to go in and edit some of those around. You know, that one doesn't bother me. That's a full page picture. It's the 2 of them. That might be kind of nice. All right, and so this actually works well because this is the beginning of the next party, and it's starting on the left-hand side. I do want that. All right, so again, I see pictures that are really huge, and I don't necessarily want that. And some of these down through here, I could probably merge together. So I'll go ahead and show you how that will be done. This is a good one to show as an example. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. All right, so this picture definitely does not, no offense, Christy and Susan, but it does not need its own page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Edit Layout. And I'm going to just scroll down to those 2 pages and click on them together. And then I'm going to merge them. And let's see if there's any others where I could do that. I think I could probably merge these 2. And yeah. I could probably, let's see. The maximum number of pictures on a page is going to be 4. So it's not going to let me merge some of these, like if this one has 3 and 2. There's no layout possibility for that. So I'm just going to stop right there. I will definitely want to move some of these pictures to another page. You know, like for example, this picture of Sam and me and the kids. You know, maybe I want that one to be the large picture. No offense to the Weaver family. But if I want to move that, I simply click on the picture and then I click move, and then I just simply tell it where to go. And it's going to switch that out with the other photo. So I'm liking that a lot better. I like all of these. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of editing here, and I'm not going to make you watch all the tedious parts of this, but I'm going to pause the tape and pause the recording, and then I may jump in again if there's something else to show you. Yeah, so it turns out this free recorder I'm using only limits you to 15 minutes. So I'm going to try to make this fast. I don't want to make you sit through 30 minutes of watching me do this book. But I do want to show you a couple of other features and how to navigate around in here to customize your book if you want to. All right, so I'm looking at this. This is the second page of the book, and I see this picture of Becky showing up at the party, and then this one of them together showing up on the next page. I want those 2 to be on the same page together. There's not really a way for me to move this one. Oh, no, it won't let me do that. I thought that was going to be something that I hadn't seen. It won't let me take this one and move it over, but what I can do is go and add it to the page and then remove it from this one. So now that it's over here, I can enlarge it a little bit. Actually, I think I want to put it up in this top slot so they're kind of together. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit, just make the cropping a little bit more pleasing. All right, so there's a lot you can do. Diana, she's got kind of a stunned look on her face there. I'm probably gonna zoom her out. She'd probably appreciate that. And so you just kind of go through and let's see. Yeah, I'm okay with that cropping there. Hit pause now and then to just kind of move this along for you. But I want you to see that I've put all these pictures here of the lighting of the candles. I put them on the page together. And I don't know for sure if that's the layout that I like the best, which what you can do is click through and see what all of your options are. Obviously I'm not liking that too much, but what if I move this picture here down? Kind of makes a little bit more sense, even though my chronological mind would rather have the lighting of the candle at the top and the blowing out of the candle at the bottom. I'm going to try to just let that go because I think this looks pretty good. And yeah, so I'm going to continue working through the book. What I'm noticing is that I really like symmetry of pages, with the left-hand page being very nice and balanced with the 4 images all the same size. I really feel like I want both pages to be the same. So, and also like kind of having them at approximately the same size. Like, for example, you would not want to zoom way in because it just makes the head size a lot larger. And so I try to consider those things when putting the pictures side by side. You want to try to keep them about the same. All right, another thing I'm noticing is I've got a picture of Dale and Tina over here and then a picture of Matt and Sarah Beth over here. I think it would be better to have them next to each other, so I'm going to flip that over. It's just small things like that. It's not necessary, but it's whatever makes the most sense to you. And also the fact that when you come down to the bottom, you can actually add you can add your text. You want to think about grouping people together so that you can identify them easily. I would probably not put that. That was just something I made up on the fly. But I actually like to identify people by name. And the Maddox family, they're actually relatives. So that doesn't really fit there. But anyway, moving on. A feature that I haven't shown yet is the fact that you can split pages very easily. So if I go back to Edit Layout, and for example, if I choose this page alone, I can actually go and click Split. And what that does is it actually took those pictures and put them out over multiple pages. I actually didn't want to do that. I just wanted to show you how to do it. So I'm going to close and close without saving changes so that I actually go back and it's the same. So I've been doing a few more edits here and there, and I have this thing down to 30 pages. I think I'm pretty happy with it. One of the last things I would want to do is just kind of check for, again, symmetry and balance. Like I'm looking at this left-hand side here and I'm thinking, maybe I want to switch this out so that these happy birthday pictures are not in the same column. So kind of have a little bit more balance there. Yeah, but for the most part, I'm pretty much done. I'm going to go back and add captions, but I'm not going to make you watch me do that. But I'm pretty happy with the way everything looks. Before I finish up, I do want to go to the pictures, and I'm just going to pretend to add a picture. And I like to go back and make sure that I've actually used all the photos. And this is a really great way to do that. If you look at your image list, it shows you where that picture is appearing in your book. And this one is not, so it doesn't have a page. I actually deleted that one because all those people were in another picture somewhere, and Francis wasn't in that picture, so I ended up deleting that one. This is also a great check to make sure that you don't have a picture that's appearing on multiple pages by accident, because it will list all the pages that your picture is on in the book. All right, so it looks like I've covered everything. I ended up deciding not to use that one since it was on the cover. And other than going back to add the text captions, I'm pretty much finished. I'm not sure that I showed you all how to change the background. If you want to, you can change the background of your pages. If you like, and I can see I need to zoom in on this picture and get rid of those edges. If you like the way that looks, you can actually apply it to all your pages. You can always switch it back. Most of the AutoBooks I've done, I've used the white. That was the original background they had, and then they brought in all these other choices. But if you prefer the black, your text will be white on top of that. So I also did one AutoBook that had a parchment background. It's kind of a little bit more natural for maybe outdoor pictures or like a beach vacation. They've also got kind of a white, they call it cotton, a little bit of a textured type finish, gray, and tan. I think I'm going to stick with white on this. I may change my mind, but eventually I will decide. All right, so I'm going to go back up to the top and show you one last thing before I finish, and that is that after you complete, so you can see actually the price went down because I eliminated some of the pictures from my book. All right, so you can change your mind about the size, and you can also order more than one copy at a different size. So if you go up to the change button, I can resize this book. Now, if I change it from 10 by 10 to 11 by 8.5, which is a rectangle as opposed to a square, it's going to mess everything up. And I don't know how it's going to change if I go from 8 by 8 to an 8 by 8 or 12 by 12, because those are also square. I've not tried it, but what I would do is resize it as a copy so that you don't lose all the things that you spent time doing. If you want to resize the original project, you just hit resize, but I would advise you to resize as a copy. So this might come into play if you make yourself a 12 by 12 album and you're wanting to make a smaller copy to order for like grandparents or for a friend that went on the trip with you or something like that. You could copy your project in a smaller size. So that's pretty cool because you can save yourself a lot of work having to do all of that over. And that's what I love about digital. You can order multiple copies without having to put together that painstaking paper project that we used to do with scrapbooking. All right, guys, I'm sure there's more to see. And there are some This with Abby videos about this, but that gives you a quick overview. I don't know how quick it was. 15 minutes plus 9 more minutes. So hopefully that gives you an understanding, though, about how you can navigate around in there. You can change it, you can tweak it, or you could just go with the way it auto layouts for you. So I would be happy to help you if you get involved in a project and you're struggling with certain features or something like that. Just let me know, and I can actually go into your account with you if you want me to. If you want to give me your password, I can go in and work in your AutoBook with you at the same time. I have done that before. So I think that's it. So have a great day. Thanks for watching.